Hi, I'm your host, Brad Riddle. Sports are a never-ending source of fascinating, inspiring, and unbelievable stories. This podcast shares those stories, but before we get started, may I ask two favors? Number one, make sure you're subscribed to the Sports Wax newsletter. Each week, we share a link to this podcast plus lots of other stuff, including the giveaway of a PSA-graded card. To subscribe, visit grumpybuck.com, that's GRUMPYBUCK, like the deer, .com. Find Sports Wax Podcast in the menu, go to the page, enter your email, and you're on the list. It's very easy. And favor number two, will you share this podcast with someone in your life who loves sports? It would mean the world to me. It's March Madness again, and just to remind you that anything can happen this time of year, here's a story that's simply unbelievable, and one you may not have heard before. I hope you enjoy.
Second down and 7. We've got Bowles in a slot position now with Ford going in motion. Bowles has got good hands. He's got the short route, but it goes to a tight end. Walker down to the 1.
Michigan's a football school. The maize and blue, the big house, those weird helmets. This is New Year's Day, 1989. Michigan's playing USC in the Rose Bowl, and they're about to take a lead they won't give up. The team's coached by a guy named Bo Schembechler, and he's straight out of Central Casting. He's gruff, no-nonsense, passionate, motivational. I mean, just listen to this guy in the locker room after the game.
We were an underdog, but they didn't know us. Right. We knew we matched up well, and we knew we could beat them if we played good football. And at half, we were not discouraged.
Schembechler's won a lot of games at Michigan, but he's never won a national championship. And now he's out of time. He'll coach one more season for the Wolverines, but this is his last bowl game victory. Schembechler's not just a football coach, though. He's also the Wolverines' new athletic director, and he's about to make a huge decision that changes the fate not of Michigan's football team, but of its basketball program. This is Sports Wax, a weekly documentary where we explore sports stories from yesteryear, memories of players, coaches, and games that take us back in time. Welcome to Episode 6, The Football Coach Who Won March Madness.
Next man they take out will be Scott May. May's at the line, though. He scored 25 points tonight, and there's 26 for him. And Bobby Knight now goes to the bench to get another player. 40 seconds to go in the game.
This is the 1976 Final Four. Michigan's Big Ten rival, Indiana, is about to finish an undefeated season by beating the Wolverines in the national title game. Michigan led at halftime, but Indiana came storming back to take a comfortable lead. And that's kind of how it goes for Michigan basketball. Some good teams, yes, but the Wolverines' Big Ten rivals are better at taking home the hardware. By New Year's Day, 1989, the day Bo Schembechler won his last Rose Bowl, Michigan basketball is halfway through the season. They're 12-1, but they're also coming off a loss to a Division II team. They're staring down the barrel of another brutal Big Ten schedule, and the team's coach is thinking about taking another job.
The best basketball is Big Ten basketball.
That's right, and at Michigan, we are looking forward to competing with our Big Ten rivals. I'm Bill Frieder, coach of the Wolverines.
Bill Frieder was an assistant on that Michigan team that lost to Indiana in 1976. He took over the top job in 1980, and he's coached some pretty good teams. They've made the NCAA tournament 4 years in a row, but they can't seem to make a deep run. In 1988, the Wolverines lost to North Carolina in the Sweet 16, and Bill Frieder got a new boss when Bo Schembechler became athletic director.
Bo's always been good to basketball. You think back, remember 1981, was it, the disastrous season? Bo sent a couple football players over during the year. He helped us recruit immensely. Bo's going to want basketball to be...
This is Frieder on a local talk show after the 1988 season. He's saying all the right things, but he and Bo Schembechler have nothing in common. Where Schembechler's gruff, no-nonsense, and passionate, Frieder is thoughtful, intelligent, and eccentric. Schembechler is starched collars, Frieder is messy hair and sweatsuits. Schembechler's a disciplinarian, while Frieder's more of a player's coach. Behind the scenes, Frieder's worried that Bo Schembechler has it out for him.
Under a minute to go. Illinois is going to kill the clock here, or try to. It's about a 12-second differential in the shot clock.
The ironic thing is, Bill Frieder's team is stacked with talent in 1989. He's coaching 4 future NBA draft picks, all first-rounders. The best of them is Glenn Rice, a 6'7" forward who's one of the top scorers in college basketball. But Michigan's hit a rough patch. In late December, they lost to Alaska Anchorage, a Division II team. And now they're playing another tough Big Ten rival, number 2 Illinois, which has 3 future NBA draft picks of its own. Illinois pulls away late to win, and Michigan's rough patch continues. A week later, the Wolverines lose to Wisconsin when point guard Rumeal Robinson misses 2 free throws late in the game. Robinson's really upset about it, and he asks assistant coach Steve Fisher to rebound while Robinson shoots 100 free throws after practice each day. Fisher says yes, of course, and you might want to remember that name. Steve Fisher is about to become really important to this story.
Doesn't hit it. Battle goes to the floor with it. Marcus Liberty picks it up.
A few weeks later, Michigan closes the regular season with senior night at home. The number 8 Wolverines welcome Illinois, which is now ranked number 4 in the country. And things are about to get wild. Michigan loses the game to finish 24-7 on the season, but that's not really the story. Arizona State has approached Michigan's Bill Frieder about its head coaching position. Maybe it's because of Schembechler, maybe it's because of the tough losses to Alaska Anchorage and Wisconsin, maybe it's the weather, but Frieder takes the job with the Sun Devils.
Help boost the Crimson Tide's win factor. Today we're going to learn who will ride the road to the Final Four. Hello again, everyone. I'm Jim Nance, along with James Brown, and together we're just minutes away right now from finding out the 64-team field for this year's NCAA championship. Billy Packer.
After senior night, and after Michigan is selected as a number 3 seed for the NCAA tournament, Frieder visits Schembechler's office. He tells him that he'll coach the NCAA tournament, but after that, he's leaving for Arizona State. Schembechler isn't having it. He immediately removes Frieder as head coach. After removing Frieder, Schembechler visits basketball practice to give the team a pep talk. And boy, does he give the team a pep talk. It comes out later that Schembechler gave a rousing speech, calling out and encouraging the players one by one in a way only an old-school football coach can. He talked to the team like it was the Rose Bowl locker room after beating USC. Afterward, he holds a press conference to announce Steve Fisher, the assistant who rebounded free throws for Rumeal Robinson, as the interim coach for the tournament. When asked about the decision, Schembechler gives this now famous answer.
I don't want somebody from Arizona State coaching the Michigan team. And I want that understood. The Michigan man is going to coach Michigan. And so that's the way it will be.
Not a lot of people are penciling Michigan into their Final Four. In fact, Michigan's a popular first-round upset pick. But maybe it's luck, maybe it's Schembechler's pep talk, maybe the team just needed a new coach. No matter the reason, Michigan's about to stun the country with a run through the tournament that shows off the team's talent and its resilience.
This afternoon, Michigan at 24-7, 12-6 in the Big Ten. That was good enough for third. Takes on Xavier at 21-11. They finished third in their conference.
It's March 17th, 1989, the first round of the NCAA tournament. Number 3 seed Michigan is facing number 14 seed Xavier.
For this first round NCAA Southeastern Regional game.
It's the team's first game under interim coach Steve Fisher, and things aren't looking great early. In the first half, Xavier's hanging tough. The Wolverines are actually down by 3 at halftime.
He's
guys finished third in the Big Ten?
Yeah.
Where Rice is shooting?
Well, the Big Ten's a Big Ten.
Trailing by a point with 3 minutes left, Glenn Rice drills a three-pointer, and Michigan starts pulling away. They win 92-87, and both Rice and Rumeal Robinson finish with 23 points. There's an old mantra in tournament play: survive and advance. And that's exactly what Michigan does. They sneak past number 11 seed South Alabama by 9 in the round of 32. The next week, they avenge last year's loss to North Carolina by beating the Tar Heels in the Sweet 16. And then they face number 5 seed Virginia in the regional finals with a trip to the Final Four on the line. And Michigan just goes off. Glenn Rice scores 32 points on 13 of 16 shooting, including 4 of 5 from 3. Michigan wins by almost 40 points to punch its ticket to the Final Four. Waiting for the Wolverines in the semifinal? Their old friend, Illinois, the team loaded with future NBA players that ruined Michigan's senior night.
Illinois, the higher seed, so they'll wear the home whites, and they have beaten Michigan the last 10 times. They have worn the home whites. They control the tap. Gillis 13.
Welcome to the Kingdom in Seattle. It's April 1st, 1989, the Final Four. Brent Musburger and Billy Packer are on the call for CBS as Michigan and Illinois take the floor. This team has lost to Illinois twice already during the regular season, both close games. And this national semifinal is predictably close as well. The lead keeps changing hands. With just a minute and a half left in the game, Fisher puts junior forward Sean Higgins into the game. Listen to what Musburger has to say about it.
He's always an outlet man if you get in trouble.
Timeout Michigan. And they have gone back to Sean Higgins off of Coach Fisher's bench here for the stretch. A little more firepower, an extra shooter, and someone who might sneak in and grab an offensive rebound and a putback.
He's calling for Higgins to get an offensive rebound and a putback. Then, with just seconds left, the game tied at 81, Higgins makes Musburger look like a fortune teller. Here's what happens.
He's going to go ahead and play for the last shot. No timeout. They set the play. Robinson, if they can hit it, they'll go to the championship. Mills, outside. The three, it's Higgins. They win it. Sean Higgins with an offensive rebound, but there is 1 second on the clock.
Michigan, the team that just couldn't beat Illinois during the regular season, takes them down when it matters most. And just like that, interim coach Steve Fisher has led the Wolverines to the national title game.
Live from the Kingdom in Seattle, Washington, CBS Sports welcomes you to the national championship game between the University of Michigan and Seton Hall.
Nothing's come easy for the Michigan basketball team in 1989. As the national title game broadcast opens, Brent Musburger's still stunned that the Wolverines have made it this far. Now, Michigan's facing Seton Hall, a number 11 seed, which you think would be easy for a number 3 seed. But the game's a dogfight. Michigan's up by 5 at halftime, but things keep tightening up in the second half. With just seconds to go, it's tied at 71. Michigan gets the last shot, but it doesn't go.
Rice shoots. Rice doesn't get the roll. We're going to go to overtime. First time since 63 when Loyola and Cincinnati went OT.
Why should things get any easier for Michigan? Chances aren't looking great for the Wolverines with less than a minute to go in the extra period. Seton Hall's up by 1, and they have the ball. And this is a good place to remind you about Rumeal Robinson's free throw shooting. He missed 2 late in that regular season loss to Wisconsin. After that, Steve Fisher stayed with him after practice and rebounded as Robinson shot 100 free throws each day. Seton Hall misses a shot with just seconds left. Michigan gets the rebound, and the ball finds its way into, guess who? Rumeal Robinson's hands.
Now down toward 5 seconds on the shot clock. Seton Hall will have to hurry. Morton will go one-on-one, up high, short. Michigan's ball. They've got an opportunity here now to win it. They've got to hurry. 5 seconds. Robinson goes in foul call with 3 seconds.
He drives into the paint as the seconds of Michigan's season tick away, and he's fouled. Now, Robinson, just a 66% free throw shooter, goes to the line for a 1-and-1 with his team trailing by a single point. He nails the front end to tie the game. And here's the back end.
Michigan leads it.
He nails it. Seton Hall gets a clean shot as time expires, but it's no good.
Long pass, Walker and Green battle. Walker fires up. It's over. Michigan has won a national championship. And for the third time in the last 8 games, it has been decided by 1 point.
The Wolverines are national champions in basketball. In the postgame, Fisher tells the story about Ramil Robinson and his free throw shooting.
I am the happiest man alive right now, Brent. I'm just so proud of every one of them. And Ramil is such a gutsy kid. And you can go back to Wisconsin when he missed 2 free throws with 8 seconds to go, 1 point behind. He came out after that for like 2 weeks straight and shot 100 every night. He told me, he said, Coach, I'm going to make those the next time.
After talking to Fisher and his team, CBS finds Bo Schembechler in the crowd.
Bo, it's an emotional moment, but what are your plans for the head job at Michigan?
Well, we'll go back and I think we ought to interview Steve Fisher, and we'll certainly do that. It's a great day for Michigan, our first national championship, and the team was magnificent. Steve Fisher did a great job.
Spoiler alert, Fisher gets the job. Michigan hasn't won a national championship since that night at the Kingdome in Seattle, but they've had a lot of opportunities. The most famous one is 1993, when Fisher's Michigan team has the ball with a chance to beat North Carolina in the championship game.
Weber brings it into the front court. They have no timeouts remaining.
Oh, he causes too many timeouts. That's a technical foul.
He called a timeout. Michigan doesn't have any.
But Michigan's Chris Weber calls a timeout the Wolverines don't have, resulting in a technical foul and ultimately the loss of the game. Michigan star Glenn Rice goes number 4 overall in the NBA draft just weeks after Michigan's unlikely title in 1989. He's one of the best players of the 90s, even though he's stuck on some really bad teams. At the 1997 NBA All-Star Game, he starts draining three-pointers in the second half.
Rice on the wings, open shot for one of the first. And he hits it! A three-pointer again for Glenn Rice.
He's named the MVP of a game that included Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Shaq, and a host of other all-time greats. Later in his career, he's the 3rd leading scorer on a Los Angeles Lakers team that wins the championship. But what Rice and his teammates did during March Madness many years ago lives on as their most unlikely accomplishment, if not their greatest. So, as you settle in to watch this year's tournament, and as you hope that this year might be the year for your team, let the 1989 Michigan Wolverines serve as a reminder that, in sports, anything is possible. Sports Wax is a documentary series brought to you by GrumpyBuck.com, GrumpyBuck.com. Subscribe to get new episodes that share a sports memory with a heavy dose of nostalgia each week.
There you are, you're running for your life. You're a shooting star, and all the years no one knows just how hard you worked, but now it shows. In one shining moment you reached deep inside. One shining moment you knew you were alive. Feel the beat of your heart, feel the wind in your face. It's more than a contest, it's more than a race. When it's done, win or lose, you always did your best. 'Cause inside you knew try. One shine moment.